Here we go.
Marker. This is Mergy Movies. I'm Big Mike.
I am Justin Ferguson.
And we are here at this part 2 of Oscar Month. Part 1, we talked about just to catch up where we were and what's going on. So this time we're going to talk about the past. About like Oscars memories that we remember, like just things we remember from the Oscars, our favorite categories, our favorite movies that we liked that were Oscar nominated, things maybe that we don't think deserved to be nominated.
There's a couple of those.
So yeah, so I guess let's start with I don't know, what do you think we should start with?
Why don't we start with the big one? Why don't we start with Best Picture?
Right, Best Picture.
What is a movie you thought was an amazing Best Picture nominee that should have won?
That should have won. Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, I might have to pull up some information for that one. For should have won. That's a hard one because I think I guess I'm gonna go a little more recent just because it's just for now. I'm gonna pull up some more information, but just for now from recent memory, I'm gonna say that I don't think, although I didn't mind Birdman.
Yeah.
I don't think it won that year. Am I correct?
I think it did.
Yeah, I'll just double check, but I'm pretty sure I didn't think it was necessarily deserving of. Oh no, I think Boyhood won.
Boyhood. For some reason, I also want to think The Revenant is in that year too.
Yeah, shit. There's way too much information to think about. Yeah, well, The Revenant. I don't think it won. It didn't win. I'm pretty sure it didn't win.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that. What do you call that? Either Boyhood or Birdman won. But anyway, I'm gonna just say quick, just in regards to that I think Boyhood for some reason is. I don't understand what it is with certain movies. It's like people get in a rut and then they just kind of like, oh, I think that movie is the best, even though it's really, it could have been a lot better. Like it couldn't have been as boring. And I'm not saying like not all Oscar things are boring or whatever, but or are boring. I mean, but it's just something that. Oh yeah, that's right. It was a sleep. So it wasn't. I'm thinking of last year, because last year Spotlight won.
Yeah, Spotlight was good.
I think that was definitely deserving. Okay, let's just go quickly from last year just to quickly run things up. So Best Picture for last year was Spotlight, and the nominees were Bridge of Spies, Max Fury Road, The Revenant, The Martian, The Big Short, Room, and Brooklyn. Right? So yeah, a couple of those we were mixing up years.
Yeah.
But I think out of all of those for the year,
Yeah.
I think Spotlight was pretty damn well worth the win.
Yeah.
The only other one I could probably think of that maybe could have had a run for its money for it was, I'm going to go with Mad Max Fury Road.
I know that movie actually, for a giant action set piece, was one of the best action movies I've ever seen, and I think it honestly deserved. Because I'll give the Academy Awards credit for that one, because usually genre pieces, like if it's comedy, horror, or action, they don't usually include those.
No, right, yeah.
So when you have one movie that's just a big action sequence from beginning to end, makes it into Best Picture. Yeah, that's a big leap for them.
Yeah, you really don't get. There's not much movies that are strictly action, especially a movie like that where it's basically all action, where it's nominated like that. You know what I mean? It's mostly like, this is pardon this term, but like the talkies that make it. You know what I mean? Like the ones that have a lot of dialogue, a lot of a thinking man's movie. But I mean, you can think in an action movie too. I mean,
well, that movie actually, they tried to use a J.J. Abramsism, try to tell the story while it was moving.
Exactly.
That's what J.J. likes to do, is while the story's moving, while people are walking, he includes dialogue.
That's right.
So That's kind of what they were trying to. I think they were trying to do with it, and it was for an action movie. It's one of the
It's one of the best ones. Yeah, that's for sure. Like usually, I'm not like I've never seen a Mad Max movie up until that point. I've just never been like it never kind of appealed to me kind of thing.
Yeah.
But this movie I did enjoy. I thought was very cool, dark, different, and I mean although it's still in tone with the Mad Max films, it definitely brought something to film. That's for sure.
It did.
A lot of people thought it was good enough to be nominated. So
And it also started this awesome movement along with JJ's Star Wars.
right.
That started this movement that I'm really happy about. Is this move to more practical special effects?
That's right. Yeah.
They did like 90% of that movie without without computer graphics.
That's right.
Like they had it in there for some scenes, like there was no way to avoid it, but where they could do something practically, they would prefer to do it practically.
Exactly. Yeah. Like that was really cool, and it definitely shows. Like especially in like the new Star Wars, like you mentioned, J.J. Abrams. Just and certain the practical stuff has a nice ring to it. Like for example, although I do not mind the look of the new, I'm just gonna go really dumb down here, not Oscar worthy, but I'm just gonna say, like for example, like the Ninja Turtles movies.
Yeah.
The first Ninja Turtle, the new Ninja Turtle movie or whatever. I don't mind the look of the turtles, whatever. But it's all CG, right? So although it's okay, but it's just the practicality of the original ones.
The Jim Henson turtle puppets.
Exactly. So it just it had something you felt like they were real, you know.
They were there because they actually were physically there.
Exactly, and I mean it's just got to be cumbersome to work on those work with the suits and stuff. And no, it was very impressive to me. And I don't know, did the Turtles ever have a nomination for makeup or
I don't know.
I should look that up. But I think practicality a lot of the time. If you can do an effect practically first, do that. Because basically what happened with Star Wars is like George Lucas was like, everything CG. Absolutely, basically
everything. Like the stormtroopers the clone troopers were CG when they just walked into a room.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Like, I know you're trying to save money, but doesn't it really save money if you're using that much? Yeah, exactly. So I think, and I mean, you would have hired more people and stuff, and it would have, been good for, the industry there and stuff. It's just, I don't know, the practicality, and again, you get that realish feeling from that Star Wars movie. You get, and like you say, from Mad Max and from Turtles, even like just the more practical. I mean, even Hellboy had a lot of
Well, that's another thing. Guillermo del Toro is really good at that. He's the king of the monster movie right now.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But he has also a very Tarantino-esque quality of you use computer graphics for things that can't be done physically.
Exactly. Yeah.
For things that are physically impossible to do.
Yeah.
So like, if it's physically impossible to have like a creature a certain way that would work, then yes, use CG. But if you can build a puppet that is believably real, then build the puppet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, yeah, it costs money, but at the same time, I mean, it's impressive. Like, I was watching, speaking of Oscar-nominated movies for this year, I watched Kubo. This is an update quick. We should do the update first, but that's okay. We'll do it after maybe. I watched Kubo and the Two Strings. That movie is fucking awesome, by the way. I'd have to say, like I said in my review on my Facebook, I said that it's literally a hair, pardon the pun of it. Yeah, exactly. From beating Zootopia for me. And the reason for that is just the story. Like, the story between his mom and where's his dad, and then you find out things later and all this stuff. Like, and then just the sheer scope of things and the epicness of what he goes through. And now I gotta say, like, because we're talking about practicality, fuck. The anime, I watched a video online. If you have a second, try to find it. It's just basically, like, it's like 120 some facts about Kubo and the Two Strings. They went through, first of all, it took them 5 years to make this movie. And they went through a lot of shit, man. And there's a puppet that's like fucking, like 20 feet tall or something like that they used. Just the sheer awesomeness of it, and it just goes to show. And again, I know it's an animation movie, but just, this is real stuff. I mean, yeah, they use some CG, but not much.
Laika has this, I know that the president of Laika is like a rich rich boy. His daddy was rich, and he allowed him to have the money. But he actually taking stop motion
Yeah.
and making really good films
Mm-hmm.
and doing it this really traditional way.
Yeah, exactly.
And he infuses the computer graphics to have those moments like the smoke or things like that that you can't do with a stop motion.
Yeah,
And
but even like the water, they were talking about the water. Most of it was actually practical. Like, I thought like some of it they said was CG, but most of it was fucking practical. Like they used like wires. They actually used what else did they use? Anyway, it was basically almost practical. Like but anyway, yeah.
like stuff like that where they take the time and the effort, and it comes down like in anything in life. If you take the time and the effort to do something really well, then it shows.
Oh, exactly. Like it shows you put effort into it. Like I'm gonna tell, it has to be a Star Wars story again, just because I'm more in tune with it or whatever. And plus, I'm a Kevin Smith fan, so it brings both things into it. Kevin Smith said he got invited because him and J.J. Abrams are kind of friends, sorta. So he got invited to the Star Wars set before it was fully made, right?
Yeah.
He got invited, and the first thing he noticed is he walked on the set, and there's like the real fucking Millennium Falcon sitting there.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a CG thing, it's not half done, it's the full fucking thing. And he goes on and he can touch things, and he said like he basically burst into tears because it's like your childhood is in front of you, and I'm able to touch it.
It makes me think of something that I was watching an interview with Adam Driver, the guy who plays Kylo Ren.
Right.
And he was on Jimmy Kimmel, and Jimmy had asked him, when did you like start fanboying out?
Yeah, right.
And it made me think of something like with Hayden Christensen and them that they might not have gotten that he got to have with this.
Right.
As he he's like, yeah, they showed me a mock-up when I first came on set of what my costume was going to look like. They showed sketches and everything. And he's like, you walk through, you look overhead, and there's a full-size TIE fighter over your head, and you're like, okay. And it's like every day I walk in and, oh look, there's some Ewoks over there. Oh look, and
it's like it's coming to life in front of you. It's like, what is going on? I don't know what's real.
And he's like, you just sort of gotta just keep it down. You can't let it come out. You gotta
secretly, you're like, I couldn't imagine, man. Like I know, like we fake pretend on our fucking stupid little YouTube shows and whatever, but I couldn't imagine, like, for me, like a character's been Batman, it'd be like all of a sudden be like, Mike, we're gonna cast you in a Batman movie or something, and it's like probably as the Penguin or something. But no, like it's like, and then I'd walk on set and I'd see like the Batmobile and the cave and fucking Alfred sitting there and be like, I don't know what to do.
That's like with Batman, The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
Told the story. Tom Hardy was telling the story. Like he was in the makeup chair getting ready. Christian Bale comes in full costume, sits down beside him and looks at him. He's like, hey. He's like, yeah, I'm fucking Batman.
That's awesome. I never heard that story. I like that. All right, we'll move on from that stuff. But yeah, practicality, always a good thing. So we're thinking of 2015 when I mentioned Birdman. Other than that, they won that year.
Okay.
The other ones that were nominated were Boyhood, which was The Theory of Everything. Have you seen The Theory of Everything?
I've seen The Theory of Everything.
I love that movie. In fact, I think for me, between that and The Imitation Game, have you seen The Imitation Game too?
That's the one with Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
He's the Enigma machine cracker dude.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Fuck, that was a good show too. I think those two alone deserve it more than Birdman did, for example.
Or Whiplash.
Or Whiplash. Actually, yes. You know what? I surprisingly enjoyed Whiplash. It's not like I didn't think I wouldn't, but just I found the sheer madness of that fucking what can't I remember his name right now?
J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons, just belittling him and yelling at him to get it done, and then to the point where he's like, wasn't he like bleeding at some point or something? And it's just like, fuck, man. And just what he did and stuff, it's like you felt like you were there, you know what I mean? It just felt like he was like there yelling at you. It's very intense, very, very great acting by J.K. Simmons, just...
That's why, didn't he win the Oscar that year for supporting actor?
You know what? Let's double check. Look up Whiplash. And awards for Academy Award for Best Actor in a Supporting Role. So that would be him.
Yep.
J.K. Simmons, that's right. Yeah, last year it was... Oh, they're showing this year. It was like nobody won. Last year was Mark Rylance for Bridge of Spies. Okay, here's another one. So, we shouldn't probably get too off kilter with that, but I just want to say for all of the people that were nominated that year were Christian Bale for The Big Short, Tom Hardy for The Revenant, Sylvester Stallone for Creed, Mark Ruffalo for Spotlight, and Mark Rylance for Bridge of Spies. That was for his Best Supporting.
Okay.
I think that out of all of these, and I still have not seen Creed, but I keep hearing shit about Creed, and it keeps making me want to watch it. But Mark Ruffalo,
The whole cast in that movie,
awesome in that movie.
The whole cast, like one guy who I have never been a fan of, who did this really amazing toned down performance was Liev Schreiber.
Right? Yeah.
He was the editor of the newspaper.
Yeah, fuck.
And he was like a Jew coming into this environment of all these Boston Catholics,
Yeah,
and this whole Catholic situation comes out, and he's trying to navigate the water by. He didn't want to raise his voice. He had to keep himself muted and toned down, but it didn't come boring. He didn't just become a background character.
No, that was so Spotlight did win that year, and obviously deservingly so. I think that was a good one to deserve. So let's try to go back a little farther. So, like, can you think of a movie that stood out to you? Well, here on 2013, we got Argo that won, along with Silver Linings Playbook, Love, Django Unchained, Zero Dark 30, Lincoln, Life of Pi, Les Miserables, and Beasts of the Southern Wild. So you said you really liked Argo. Out of all of these nominees, do you think that it still deserved?
Oh, Argo was. What bugged me is that Ben Affleck didn't get considered for Best Director.
Yeah, that was
like
very,
that
very
movie
interesting,
won Best Picture.
Yes.
Yeah, and he really. Usually, when you watch the Oscars, the film that wins Best Picture, its director usually wins Best Director.
Usually, yeah. It hasn't actually happened the past couple of years, though.
Like, I don't
For
get
some reason.
why that is.
Yeah.
'Cause it's like, that's the best film of the year, supposedly. Isn't the guy who made it the best guy who made a film that year?
Yeah, exactly. So.
I mean, I could see it like if it was, Marty Scorsese made a movie, and it's like, well, it's Marty Scorsese. He makes good movies all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's some young upstart who just blew everyone's mind. Maybe the movie wasn't as good as Scorsese's movie, but his role of putting together this film.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe that would maybe be an exception, but 9 times out of 10, I would say the guy who made the best movie, the guy or girl who made the best movie, because didn't Catherine Bigelow win?
She won, yeah.
And she's the only female director to ever win.
But she did, yeah. She won for Zero Dark 30, which was nominated that year. So she won over Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
Was he not? But he wasn't even nominated, was he?
I don't know if he was. I don't think he was nominated.
I'd have to look that up. Maybe just 1 second. I thought I saw a light go off. Just want to make sure. Okay, we're good. Anyway, so I don't know. Quick to see the back. Okay, a couple minutes order.
Yeah.
And we're back. So, okay, so yeah, like it's you think that it would go to the person who directed the film because, like what you say, because of what they did, their accomplishment in it and everything. But yeah, it's just really weird. I'm just gonna look up if he was nominated. 1, 3 for Best Picture, Adapted Screenplay, Best Editing. Affleck was not nominated for Best Director. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Very strange for something like that. But yeah, let's see if we can. So talking about that, let's see if we can go back. Like, I know there was 1 year, actually it's probably a couple of years in a row, that or then let me go back that far. Oh man, actually no Best Picture. Where Tom Hanks won like 2 years in a row, big time, right? Like he won for '93, I believe.
Well, didn't he win for Forrest Gump?
Yeah, he won for Forrest Gump, and he won. And he won for Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I'm starting to wonder if he did win for Forrest Gump. I'm starting to have a brain fart here. Okay, so '93. Okay, no, '94 was then. So Forrest Gump won for Best Picture that year. Oh, fuck! It was up against The Shawshank Redemption.
Ooh.
Okay, let's discuss that. Okay, never mind Tom Hanks, but
okay.
Fuck, like, how do you pick out of those two?
That's hard.
That's 1 year where I would really have a hard time.
That would be one where they would split hairs.
Yeah, really. What would you pick?
If it was my ballad between the two of them,
Pulp Fiction's also not.
For fuck's sakes.
So okay, so we got. I just noticed that. Okay, so you got Forrest Gump, Four Weddings and a Funeral, Pulp Fiction, Quiz Show, and Shawshank Redemption. So you got 3 good candidates in there, like extremely good candidates in there.
Okay, Pulp Fiction. As much as I.
What happened?
It's a pug foot.
A pug foot. God, sorry, we had a pug foot. Anyway, okay, we won't worry about that, but anyway.
As much as I love Pulp Fiction, I think, especially for the 90s, it was too genre-y.
Yeah, fair enough.
Although I loved it, and for me, it's like a classic.
Yeah.
So are the other two.
Yeah.
But looking at them, I like a movie that's got a little bit of everything in it. If I'm gonna go for Best Picture, it's got to be the best all-around movie of the year. Yeah. And I would have gone with The Shawshank Redemption.
You know, I'm leaning towards that too. I think I'm gonna have to go with that. Yeah.
Because as much as Robin Wright Penn, she's grown into being one of the best veteran actresses working. Her as Jenny, I
hear you.
It's like any actress could have played that part.
Right. Yeah.
I loved Gary Sinise. He was hilarious.
Oh, of course, yeah.
He was great as Lieutenant Dan.
Lieutenant Dan. Lieutenant Dan, ice cream. Lieutenant Dan, I got your ice cream. Yeah, there's so many good moments in that movie. Yeah, it is one of my favorites.
And didn't Penny Marshall direct that movie?
Oh, let's take a look. We got producers.
No,
Robert Zemeckis, one of my favorites.
Another
Back to the
great
Future.
director.
Yep.
Another great director. I just look at The Shawshank Redemption. I think there was a lot more actors that did really well. I felt the dread and the terror and the excitement and the happiness and all those sorts of moments really resonated a little bit
The
more.
Shawshank, yeah. Like, a lot of people are calling, like, because for a while Godfather was holding the top spot on IMDb for, like, the best movie ever or whatever.
Yeah.
But in the past recent years, Shawshank's basically risen up to number 1. Yeah. Would you say, I mean, it has its flaws, but would you say it's close to the perfect movie?
It's up there.
Because, like, it has everything. It has the heart. It even has a little bit of, like, well, not much romance, I would say.
No.
That would probably be the only thing it's lacking, really.
Unless you count the rape scene.
Yeah, well, it's not fucking romantic at all. But, like, you know, just the heartbreaking things that happen in the show, the laughter that happens, you know, it's like, it's overall, it'll definitely be in, like, the top forever. Because it's just one of those movies that it's great all around. Yeah. It's awesome.
You can anybody can watch it too. Like,
anybody,
even if you're like, you have your favorite kinds of movies, pretty much anybody can sit down and watch it and really enjoy the shot. Well, enjoy is a relative term, but enjoy the Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, enjoy the movie. It's like enjoy the film. Yeah. But like, I know, I hear you. It's just one of those movies that, when it's always on, someone just puts it on in the background while you're cleaning because you've seen it so many times because it's just one of your favorites, right? Yeah. The characters you resonate with in so many different ways, and like, you got Morgan Freeman.
You got Morgan Freeman narrating. Of course, he's got to be the voice of the movie.
That one scene where he goes, like, when he's way older, like way older, and he says, you know what, you can stamp that card, Sonny. I don't give a shit. You know, and then he stamps it, and it's like, gets out of there. And just goes to show, like, because if you're in there for so long, you become institutionalized. Yeah. It's just a great film overall. It definitely deserved to win, but it didn't. But Forrest Gump won.
Yeah, but like I said, when you're doing that, you're splitting hairs.
Yeah, really.
Because I mean, the nitpicks I have against Forrest Gump are just in relation to Shawshank Redemption, like comparing them side by side. You put Forrest Gump against most other movies, it's better than most other movies.
Oh yeah, for sure. And to think of the people that here's a quick thing. You know who they actually wanted to play Forrest Gump originally? I believe it was Bill Murray.
I think he would have brought something very different too.
I think so too. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just they chose the perfect person for it, and I gotta say, like that fucking scene, every fucking time, when he asks about the boys, he's smart and shit. It's like that's it. Fucking waterworks is just I'm done. Like it's just like his face is bawling because he sees that. By the way, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it. Which is weird if you haven't really.
If you haven't seen
Forrest Gump, you need to fucking put the show down that you're watching here and fucking watch Forrest Gump. But anyway, like, because he just wants to know that his boy's accepted because he was ridiculed for a lot of his life and stuff. And, it's just that heartbreaking but also beautiful scene that he wants his boy to
have a better chance at life than he did.
Exactly. Like, it's just a beautiful scene, one of the best in cinema history, period. And yeah, that would be a really hard one to choose from. But I'd still have to give just the edge to Shawshank myself. But I can see why the Academy were just like, like they just couldn't pick, right? Surprised they didn't pick Quiz Show, just throw people off.
Yeah, that would have been one of the ones that didn't deserve to win.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm sure it was a fine film,
Yeah.
but
What's that about anyway? Quiz Show. Robert Redford, directed by Robert Redford. Starring Ralph Fiennes, Ray Fiennes, John Turturro. I don't think I've fucking seen this movie.
I don't know either.
Remembering America, a voice from the 60s. Chronicles the 21 quiz show scandals of the 1950s. Huh.
Interesting.
I might have to watch it just cause. But anyway, so yeah, we'll end on this, but just, yeah, like there's so many movies that the Academy chooses just because, and then there's some where you just fucking, it's a good, 94 was a good year, man.
It was a good year.
So just so much to pick from, but so much movies that'll always be in our hearts, especially movies like Shawshank, Forrest Gump, Philadelphia, I really love.
Oh, Philadelphia. That's
hard to watch.
There's some, when I look at Tom Hanks, I see a guy
who's fucking awesome.
Who's awesome.
In general, like the guy even off screen is like one of the nicest dudes ever.
He's so nice, he's so likable, he's so funny, he feels like your brother or whatever.
Yeah.
But when you watch him play like his role in Saving Private Ryan or his role in Philadelphia, he's so much more stern and he's so much more dark. I use the word darker so often it kind of becomes a cliche, but what I mean by he has so much more seriousness. He loses that sort of softness that he has.
Yeah. I hear you. Sort of like the same with. Well, no, never mind. I was gonna say same with Green Mile, but not really. He has that softness in Green Mile because he's it's just an all-American man who wants to do good. So another great fucking movie.
Another guy that does that, who thankfully got to win an Oscar before he went, was Robin Williams. He has that sort of soft.
Fuck, he's another good
but
one.
you turn around and watch him in 1 Hour Photo or Insomnia or some of these other movies where he plays a really dark character, and it's like
he actually wanted to play the Riddler in Batman for many years. I would have loved to have seen his.
Didn't
Riddler.
he also try to audition for the
Yes, he did.
Dark Knight?
He did, but he also actually wanted to go for the Joker, in Michael Keaton Batman, but they asked Jack first. Jack basically said no, and then they were gonna go to Robin Williams. Then Jack changed his fucking mind, and then that's what I'm saying. His Joker is great, but I would have really liked to see what Robin Williams would have done. Fortunately, we'll never see
know.
that. But we'll never know. Unfortunately, so well, there we have it, folks. So this is Oscar month, part 2, and this is our beefs and pet peeves and interests in movies that we shared with you. So until next time, I'm Big Mike.
I'm Mr. 31st.
And grab your popcorn, folks.
Oscar.
It's Oscar time.